Hey, hope all is well, passing positive vibrations your way. It's still the morning time for me, so my eyes are still a little groggy. Apologize for that. But I want to start off by introducing myself. My name is Isaiah Nelson. At the moment, I am an intern counselor, but I specialize in grief coaching. And within my counseling and grief coaching, I implement things like silent vibration therapy. So I use singing bowls and drums to release stress, to meditate, to concentrate, to focus. I love utilizing mindfulness because mindfulness deals with the logical brain. It deals with being in the here and now. Love using art therapy because art therapy gives a client a different way to express their challenges through crafts and arts, through journaling, through writing, spoken word and poetry, and role play. I love to use DBT because DBT deals with the emotional brain. Yes, it's important to understand the logical brain, but it's also important to understand how our emotions work because that's our passions, our highs, our lows, our ups and downs, our lefts and rights. I work with couples, families, people of all ages. I don't discriminate, but I love working with youth. It's just something I've been doing half my life. Now that I got that out the way, I want to address the two elephants in the room. And I want to talk about the importance of mental health and mental health awareness. First and foremost, people always say go to the doctor and check on your physical health, make your voices heard by voting and protesting. But I feel like when it comes to mental health, it's important as well and it's crucial, especially for people like us, for people of color. Now, in me saying that though, in me saying that, I understand that sometimes it's not that we don't want to get the help, we just had bad experiences or we don't know, or the stigma that's revolved around it. I'm one of them. I had a traumatic experience with counseling when I was a kid. A couple of them, but I'll just talk about one. I was 10 years old. I was going through a lot. I went through sexual abuse with my female cousins, lost my father to HIV when I was 7. My mother, HIV positive, going through health problems. It made me have passive suicidal thoughts. And I wrote down in the classroom I would die in 2 weeks. The teacher saw it, alerted my mother, and then I had to see a school counselor. The counselor was trying to get me and push me to say what my mother had as far as her virus. All I told him was my mother had a virus that she can't get rid of. And it felt like I was in a interrogation room, not a counseling room. He wasn't trying to build rapport with me. He wasn't trying to understand me and have empathy. He was trying to find out what was this virus that my mother had. And he was prying so much. I was only 10. I was highly stressful, and I just blurted out HIV. I felt humiliated, violated, and ran up out of the room. But that's my experiences. Some people, especially people of color, don't seek counseling because the interventions don't fit them. Okay? As a matter of fact, statistics shows that within the counseling field, it's still mostly dominated by whites. Also, some people, especially people of color, don't seek counseling because I know I mentioned the stigma before, but it's also because we don't see enough people like us that's in the field. That's why I'm the person to where I like to fill in the gaps. Okay, instead of me complaining and dwelling all the time, what can I do to help make a change? And that's partially what motivated me to get in the counseling field. So I don't want to be sitting up here saying how important it is to go and seek counseling, but then it's nothing that I'm doing to help that. Okay, and that goes on into the next thing I want to talk about. Time is shifting. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's a little bit different now and it's getting better. Perfect example. Back then, it was no such thing as race theory being talked about in counseling. There was no such thing as microaggressions being talked about in counseling. And if you was a woman, especially a woman of color, and you started talking about having mood swings and stuff going on with your emotions, it was no postpartum depression. It was no interventions like that when it came to that. So you was either called crazy, institutionalized, and if you want to go way back, you was even killed. Okay, was no such thing as having spiritual intuitions and visions and all of these things. Okay, that you needed better explanation. Even as black men, okay, we wasn't no dealing with our emotional brain. There was no talking about the things that we go through as far as us being at the bottom of the tadpole when it comes to economy, when it comes to us, having jobs. None of that. So even people that want to be a counselor, now they're being trained on different cultural backgrounds, okay, in some of the sensitivities that we have because of what we go through. So it is different now. Spirituality is now implemented in counseling more. It wasn't like that back then. Now you can find counselors to where if you are a woman or a male, especially of color, you can find something that is customized to you. And that's what I want to talk about next. Customization. Now counseling is about customizing, which is to modify to fit your needs. Okay, back then counseling was more so this is what's wrong with you, and anything else you're going through, it doesn't really matter if it doesn't fit this script in this narrative. It's not like that now. Now when in counseling sessions, it's not just about me telling you what's this and what's that and what's wrong with you and etc. I learn from my clients, okay? My clients give me a better understanding. So now you have counselors that is open to understand and learn. It wasn't a lot of that happening, back then. So I think we are in a very good space in elevation when you talk about counseling. Art therapy is included more into it. Sound and vibration, meditation, yoga, all of these things is more included in counseling. It's more flexibility now when it comes to pricing, when it comes to, because that's another biggest thing. Sometimes we have financial restraints when it comes to seeking counseling. So now it's more resources when it comes to that. When you talk about counseling is more innovative now. You can find psychedelic counseling. So we still got work to do. I still have a lot of work to do, but things are changing. And when you're seeking counseling, just think of it like this. Let's get back to customizing. What would you want your counselor to look like? Okay, it's nothing wrong if you want your counselor to look like you, your color, your gender, around your age bracket. There's nothing wrong if it's the opposites attract. Some males want a female counselor, some females want a male counselor, etc. There's nothing wrong with that. In counseling, think of it as a conversation. Listen, sometimes I just can't express certain things to people I love. It's not that they don't always understand, it's just that because they love me and because I know them, it just may not roll off right. And I like to know what's going on with my brain. I like to get a better understanding. That doesn't mean that I'm stepping away from my belief system. Because if you're a spiritual person, you know from the chemicals that's released in your body, from your physical specimen to your whatever that scientists say, the higher creator created all of it. Okay? So, again, what would you want your counselor to look like? Do you want spirituality, added more into it? Sometimes counseling is confirmation. It's a conversation. What strengths do you want to be heightened? What vulnerabilities do you want to be, exposed respectfully? Okay, counseling is not all about just finding something wrong, just like it's not all about, a smooth sailing. Sometimes in counseling, you're going to be challenged. But think about it. It's for you. It's customized to you to make, you better or elevate you or give you a better understanding. So I'm going to ask a question. What counseling experiences have you heard about or that you know about? What are some things that you like or dislike when it comes to, counseling? Like I said in the beginning, what would you want your counselor to look like? Thank y'all for listening. I know this is kind of a lengthy video, but it's no way that I could get all of this out in 3 to 4 minutes. And it's much more, but I just trimmed it the best way I can. Thank y'all for listening. Again, my name is Isaiah Nelson. And again, passing positive vibrations your way.